Hey y'all, I'm going to make a recipe today that I think is going to be so good. The ingredients are a high quality. They were sent to me by a viewer, and I want to show them to you because she said that her and her husband knew that I liked good pasta. They sent this, and there's the front. I'm only going to use half of this because I have something I want to do with the other half, and what that is I've got this bruschetta at TJ Maxx a couple days ago, and I want to just boil this and drain it and then mix it with this bruschetta. It's tomato and olive, and I think that will be delicious. So that's what I'm going to do with half. Other half I'm going to use in this recipe, but they sent this, and along with that they sent the cream of chicken soup, and it's organic, and so I'm going to use those two ingredients to make a simple recipe, but anyway, it would be quick for y'all if you wanted to make it, and I think it's going to be delicious. So to start with, I'll bring you down, and this is the pan or the pot I'm gonna use for the chicken. And if you can see, let me read. Water in there. If you can see, there's only like a third of a cup of water in here. And so I'm going to put my chicken in that. And the reason I'm only putting a little bit of water is I want to use what broth this makes just to help with the flavor. But I don't need a whole lot of water. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one chicken breast in there. And it may make more broth than I need. I think it is. Let me get rid of a little bit of water, because the chicken itself is going to add water or moisture to it. And the only spice I'm going to use on this is salt and pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper this chicken breast. And then in this pot is for the pasta, and I'm going to put a lid on this chicken. I found this at the thrift store that I go to, and there was a set of 3 or 4, and I really love these. If you have a chance to get them, I don't know what you call them. You probably could get them on Amazon, but they're great. I really enjoy those. So let me run cut this with the scissors. Sorry about that. I didn't know it would be hard to get into. And I'm going to put half of this in here. I might have got a little more than half, if that's okay. The reason I didn't want to use the whole bag also is I like my dishes fairly saucy, and if I had used the whole bag, this would have not been enough for me. So anyway, that's another reason why. But this chicken is cooking, the macaroni or the pasta is cooking and boiling over. And it won't take but a few minutes, but when they're ready, we'll come back and we will proceed on with the recipe. Okay, the chicken and the pasta have finished cooking, and I put the breast in here whole, but during the cooking I cut it up in pieces just so it would cook faster and I could make sure it was cooked thoroughly. And if you can see in the corner of the pot down there, it's a rich broth from having just a little bit of water in there. But while you're cooking your chicken, be sure and stay with it, because with that little bit of water you have to make sure your heat's not too high. And I did have to add like just a pinch of water a couple times to make sure it didn't dry out. But anyway, it came out perfect, and now I'm going to use this, which is totally wonderful and so helpful. I was sent this, I believe I told you before, and it is great. So you can get these on Amazon, or I think you can get them at Walmart and different places. And anyway, if you feel like it's something that you could use in your kitchen, then get you one. So I have no idea why, but my chicken is not crumbling up, and it is cooked all the way through. So I really don't know why it's not crumbling up. It feels like it's wanting to, but it might take a little bit of work. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my knife that I cannot find, and I'm just going to cut it up some. I wanted to shred it, but it's not going to shred for me, I don't believe. So just kind of cutting it up will be just fine. And it might be better that way anyway. And if it was cool enough, I'd just take my fingers and break it up. So this is what happens sometimes. You have the best plans, but they just don't work. So that's fine for it to be like that. It seems like if I kind of come in at an angle, it wants to do a little bit better than if I just am flat with it. But anyway, this is good right here. This is fine. That way you taste your chicken better and get a bigger mouthful of it. So, to the chicken and the little bit of broth that you have, I'm going to add this. It's organic cream of chicken. It looks really good. And to that, I'm going to add about half of a container of milk. We have some liquid from the broth in here, so I'm going to stir that around just a little bit to get what's in there off the sides of the box. And then just pour it in. And this is a hint. If you're pouring in something into a pot or a bowl or something and you're afraid it's going to splash up on you when you pour it, if you'll take the back of a spoon, not the front, but the back, and pour it over it, it won't splash up on you. So that was my little tip for the day. So we're going to stir that up. I'm really excited to try this because I am a cream of chicken soup lover, and to be honest, I never started even really eating it or even try it till maybe a year ago, and I have been a big fan ever since. To that, I'm going to just add a can of mixed vegetables, and I'm going to put that in. And you can use the frozen if you want, but I just really don't care much for the frozen unless it's something that's going to cook a good while and then get really well cooked, like say you're making vegetable beef soup and you're going to cook it a long time. Otherwise, I'm not the biggest fan. And then to this, we're going to add our noodles or our pasta. And give that a stir. And if you feel like it needs salt and pepper, you can add that when it's on your plate. I just don't want to take away from any of the good flavors of the pasta or the cream of chicken soup. And I was looking at this while it was boiling, and it said this is made in Italy. It's slow dried. I don't know what all that means, but I'm impressed with it. It's made with a bronze form. It is bronze drawn. Unlike smooth industrial Teflon formed pasta, its rough, porous texture binds perfectly with sauces. Anyway, it sounds great. And so to that, we're gonna put this in a baking dish. And I feel a little silly telling you how good that this is, and then it not working, but honestly, if you've watched videos on here, people use them all the time and they work so good, and they really do. It's just that if something weird is going to happen, it's going to happen to me, I feel like, which I think is sometimes fun because, you know, if everything went perfectly all the time, what fun would there be? So this is our casserole, and I had meant, when I was at the store a little bit ago, I had meant to get Parmesan cheese because I thought a little bit of that on top would be good, and I forgot. So I have this, just trying to see so you can see. It's hard to read. It's Swiss cheese, and I'm going to put a little bit of that on there. And I'll do that once I cut the camera off because that's not really fun to watch. But I'll do that. I've got the oven on 350. I'll leave it about half an hour covered, and we'll come back and then give it a taste. Okay, we're back, in our chicken pasta bake, that's what I'm going to call it, is finished. And I'm going to bring it up towards the camera where you can see better what it looks like. It smells delicious, and it looks so good and creamy and really good. So I'm going to serve some up here and have a taste. and there's enough sauce on it, which was one of my main goals, is to be sure and have enough sauce. That's like spaghetti sauce or anything. I like a lot of sauce in what I'm eating. So here it is, piping hot and smelling good. And I'll bring the camera back up, and I'll put these on so I can see what I'm eating. And the chicken cooked a little more, and it's breaking apart a little better. So here it is. I'm going to have to blow on this a little bit. It's hot. Oh my. This is so good. That chicken, cream of chicken soup has the best flavor, and so does the pasta. And the vegetables, say there's not a ton of them, they give it a nice little taste. And this is a really good dish. Thank you so much for thinking about me to send me the ingredients and all. And I know you didn't tell me what to do with them, but this is what I wanted to try, and I love it. My family's gonna love it, and I hope that y'all get to make it, and I hope that you love it too. I know y'all won't probably, or not all of you, have the exact ingredients I used, but this is something quick and really delicious and filling. So, and I think it has enough salt and pepper. That little bit I put in the beginning on the chicken seems to be enough. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.